We all pretty much know each other by now, and yesterday we had quite an exhilarating day. Um, we'll try to keep it as interesting as it was yesterday. Um, and with Arnab in the room, it's definitely going to be interesting. I can assure you that. And and he does make me nervous because he's just good, so good at it. But anyway, we'll get there. So it's very interesting how in the morning the speakers were talking about our challenges with demographic dividend. And it's very closely related to what we are going to be talking about. In fact, this is one of the ways we can reap those benefits of our demographic dividend if we are able to provide to our children the right kind of career and college counseling. So this discussion does make a lot of difference. In fact, the second speaker, Mr. Anand, also talked about letting children be, letting them find their way, and being that guide on the side to just scaffold their journey. And that's what the role of a counselor is, a college counselor is. But can AI be that guide? That's the question that's going to drive the discussion today. A lot of data was shared in the morning, and I too have some data for you. India has 1 lakh certified career counselors, which is in stark contrast to the staggering 315 million students that we have. You compare this to the US, where there are 2.6 million college advisors for 56 million students. So what does this look like? This looks like drained counselors, widened inequities, and definitely a disgruntled workforce in the future. But we're living in the age of AI, aren't we? There definitely must be some solutions. How can we leverage AI to find solutions for these problems? And well, the panel today will delve into the interplay between AI, career counseling, and college advising. So we are here to unravel the far-reaching implications for students and institutions that AI can have with its interventions for college counseling. And I'm delighted to introduce our panelists for today. Dr. Amit Bhalla, Vice President of Manav Rachna Educational Institutions, who believes that education is like a canvas which can take whichever color and stroke you want it to give. Dr. Amit Bhalla. Please. Dr. M. Madan Mohan is an educator with more than 20 years of experience and is currently the principal of Symbiosis International School, Pune. He's also a seasoned IB Asia Pacific examiner. Welcome, Dr. Mohan. Ravin Nair is the Chief Operating Officer of QS IGOSH, a division of QS UK that produces the authoritative World University Rankings. Ravin. So we'll cut to the chase and start our conversation. Ravin, my first question is for you, and it's around the question of equity and inclusion. So access to college counseling is limited for students belonging to underserved communities. And this widens the chasm of inequalities in education. Can AI, ChatGPT, etc., make the college admissions process more inclusive and equitable by providing access to resources to those who don't have guidance advisors and tools readily available?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Manjit. QS, just to give you all an idea about what we do, we are a rating agency, a subsidiary of QS that produces the World University Rankings. We help schools and colleges identify their areas of strengths and how do they take their journey towards excellence. So that's what we do. We've been working with the schools for the last 2-3 years. Coming to equity, equality, and inclusivity about career counseling, in particular college admissions, um, first and foremost is the potential of AI to kind of cater to the larger group of students in the nook and corner of every country. There is indeed a potential for AI to do that. But the question is, we all speak about AI, but we really do not know what really AI is able to do without really having the data with us. I think the data is key for us. There is not enough data that we have in place which can really help AI give the desired results. AI definitely has the potential to do it. And AI also can be biased because of the inherent nature of biases that are there in the system. So it is very important for us to identify the right data to mitigate the biases and then put into the system, which can definitely help provide solutions to the student community. Now there are two areas that I can think of. One is the traditional conventional way of career counseling that happens, which the privileged students of the privileged communities have, which the others don't have. Now that is a one-to-one kind of a session that students get to attend, whereas the potential for AI is to provide a similar kind of a service round the clock for students in remote parts of the countries, right? So AI has that potential. I feel that is very, very important. But what we need to keep in mind is whether we are able to train AI to the level that the EQ of human element that comes to play when you have, because with the word counseling in itself is something that there is a personal element to touch to it, right? The emotional quotient, the empathy part of career counseling, that's something I don't think we have reached a stage where AI is able to do that. But I think if we are able to train AI to that extent, then I think we are going to be very, very successful. So that's with respect to career counseling or admission counseling for students. But the larger role that perhaps AI can do is how do we democratize the whole admission expertise, right? That is the real potential that AI has, because even now we have career counseling sessions, we have admission sessions, universities coming from overseas and doing these sessions one-to-one with employees, but still there is a lot of ambiguity, confusion, lack of clarity around the programs being offered. Also, this is not because of the inability of any institution, but so also the skill gap that is there between the industry and the education system, which causes this confusion. But using AI, I feel that there is indeed a potential for us to democratize this whole process by providing them the all required critical information with respect to admissions. I think that is something that definitely we can do. But having said that, we can also mitigate the biases of, like I said, inherent biases that are there in the system, which recognizes people based on their caste, creed, which is not sometimes intentional, it's unconscious biases, but that can be mitigated if you're able to train the AI in the right direction, and the right data is being put into the system to create the algorithms. But what we have, the biggest advantage for AI is that we have seen across globe a lot of universities extensively using AI for admission purposes, right? One of the surveys that QS did around the international student survey that we did around admissions, students expect that they get their responses. 40% students felt that they should get their responses within a week's time as to what is the status of their admission, right? So this this encourages institutions to use AI to the extent that they're able to efficiently provide feedback and timely response to the students. Over 50% of students felt that they should continuously, frequently get responses about the status of their application, using AI, and institutions are really using it. And about 65 to 70% of the universities abroad in the survey, it says that they have been extensively using AI to provide timely updates to the applicants. So indeed, they are setting an example there. I think there is a role model that we can take from there, and then we can implement it. But then in a nation like India, one needs to be very, very careful that it is completely neutral and not biased. And I think that's the future for all of us.
Thank you, Ravin. Thank you for those insights. And in fact, I'd like to share with everybody an app that College Guidance Network has introduced. It's called AVA, AVA, and it is meant to do exactly what Ravin talked about, democratization of the entire process. And it has a lot of resources. It has extensive resources for college counseling for students, and it's free. So, I mean, if we can share it with others from our community, that would be wonderful. And College Raptor, if you've heard of it, it uses AI to help students find the right fit college. So that again is something that can come in handy for a lot of students. I'd like to throw this question back to the audience. If any of you would like to take this question and add something to it, what can we do to promote equity and inclusion to the process of college counseling and advising with AI?
I want to react to that because I'm very concerned with that. You know that there is a big IC3 conference at the end of the month, and it so happened that we are animating one full session on precisely, how we can go deeper into the process and of counseling and all that. And precisely what we will be doing is to bring mindfulness. That means, in the choice of a career, in the choice, it's involved the entire life. Well, today, maybe you can have 2, 3 career in your life, but it's a very important thing. So, and what AI can bring is all the rational part, the 0-1 part of the thing. But the gut feeling sometimes is very important also. And there is a conditioning part which is there. The family, they want their children to be engineer and doctor and whatever for whatever reason, generally. But what this child does really wants to do in his life, and for that, having the information is important, which is what ChatGPT can bring. Can bring a lot of information, and I'm sure that it will evolve and it will be refined and accessible and in different languages. Also, for example, AI will help to translate all this information in Hindi, in South Indian language. That's very good. But what about the gut feeling? What about the emotion part? What really I want to do, and I think that looking at ChatGPT to democratize is a good thing, but we have to be just careful that ChatGPT will tackle only a very a small part, and both parts are important, the rational part, and so it's what just I wanted to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's precisely what I mentioned. The EQ part and the empathy part, that one-to-one discussion makes a lot of difference than simply relying on technology. And we have IC3, we have career counseling cells everywhere. But what we have seen in the number of audits that we have done, assessments that we have done, career counseling is one. Employability, we are all pretty decent. I mean, thanks to the industry revolution and all that, jobs are taken care to some extent. But career counseling particularly has always been a concern. And institutions, when we do surveys of students and faculty members, we do get a poor response, or satisfaction level is not up to that mark, where students feel that there is much more to be done. So that is dissemination of more information, knowledge, that is where technology can be really extensively used.
So just a thought point over here. See, today the counseling, as per our understanding, is that students are really not sure about what should they pursue, and AI is basically based on LLMs, the language models, right? If you give enough data sets to AI about that student, based on which AI recommends the curriculum or the proposed career path, that will lead to better learning outcomes and career outcomes for children. Today, the entire process of recommendation is somebody gets in touch with the student, they ask them certain questions, they put certain marks that you've got, and based on that, they recommend. But if you can have access to the student's journey from 4th to 12th standard about what the child has been into. And the LLM can be built on top of it, wherein you don't ask the child what do you want to do, and you don't recommend only based on 10th and 12th marks. The proposition of universities will be much more powerful. So I think the in-depth usage of AI can be on the LLM perspective. And for that, two things have to be done. One is the data which is being fed into AI to recommend. It should be the journey of a student throughout his schooling life. It can be vocational, it can be arts, it can be grammar, it can be geography, different careers. So that recommendations become stronger. So that's what my thought is, to improve outcomes, better understanding of the LLM models, which has data from the student's perspective. Thanks. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right. So data journey of a student is very critical for recommendations. Thank you.
Yeah. First of all, they know that such data because no assessment in school today is taking the profile of the student.
That's
So
There is,
this type of data.
yeah, there is a,
So-
there is a like data.
Yeah, I know there are data. Aadhaar card is about that.
No, the softwares which we are using.
yeah.
No, I know it is there, but not in the school system because it is what is missing in the assessment school system. Even when we have competency-based system, we don't have a profile-based. This is one thing. Second thing is look at the danger of that. Children are already conditioned by the society, by the norm, by the thing. Now we are bringing a conditioning by a machine, and that we have to be. What I mean.
Very good point, sir. Just a use case. So for example, there's a student, right? And he's won many medals in music events, and he's done tremendously at art competitions, and he's got 10 CGPA in 10th and in 12th as well. Now what should be a recommendation? Not deciding. Now what should be a recommendation? The general perception will be that if you are 10 CGPA guy, you should go for IIT preparation or you should go in for an engineering. But are we considering that this student in subconsciously has done great in music and art? And can AI recommend that why don't you pursue Trinity College for your music? So what I'm saying is that today the recommendation subset is very specific. Your marks or maybe a couple of other parameters. However, a student journey is much more because we do so much at school across different areas, right? You build character, you build integrity, you expose them to arts, etc. But when you're recommending, not deciding for the child, that subset should be available to AI, is what I'm trying to explain. Thank you.
It is already available.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I
The
don't.
thing is, let me come in here. See, we've got counseling softwares, right? We've got counseling softwares called like Cialfo and Maya Learning and Bridgeview and all these things. So what happens in our school is like we start career counseling from the 8th standard. Okay, from the 8th standard, everything is caught in the software. Okay, so all this extensive training starts from the 8th standard, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Right. So all the data, all the marks, again, the school software, the kind of academic marks and everything what you got, they're all linked to the softwares. Right. So the one we're talking about, the Trinity Rock and Pop examination, right? So the 10 CGP in the 10th standard and 10 CGP in the 12th standard, they are the highest at that age group, right? But the Trinity Rock and Pop examination, there are 8 levels in that. But are they the highest for that age group? No, it's not. Because if you're going to come up with a Peter Frampton riff, guitar riff, they will be maybe level 16 or 17. So they're not at the top of that notch for
Yes,
that
thank
age
you.
group.
Yeah. Thank you for that input. And I'll come to you, sir, just for time constraints. And so I just summarize all the fabulous ideas that just emerged from the conversation. So, Ravin, you very rightly mentioned, and the biases that are implicit in the system, we must be careful and cautious of those. And a similar level of service should reach the privileged students and the underserved students as well. But EQ should remain at the heart of all that we're trying to do. Of course, democratization of the process is essential. Thank you, Mr. Pascal, for the mindfulness bit, because it just connects so seamlessly and beautifully to what Mr. Anand said in the morning, that बहुत कुछ करो पर ध्यान से करो. So we got to be mindful of what we are doing. So thank you. Those were very valuable insights. I'll move on to our next idea and the theme, ethics. And Dr. Mohan, I'll throw that question to you. While many factors are considered in college admission decisions, the college essay is a crucial component. With the advent of ChatGPT, the authenticity of the college essay has come under question. While colleges have started to put some guardrails in place, there are a lot of unanswered questions. How might the Common App essay prompts or college-specific or supplemental essay change so that they become more AI-proof in the coming years or the upcoming admission cycle?
I'll just give some background to that thing. In our school, when ChatGPT came, that time there was much hype like all other schools, right? So what happened over there is, the more we started learning about AI, the more we started getting disimpressed by that whole stuff. So what happened is, like, then we have a fun way of dealing with certain hypes. So we started calling it the greater Google. What is that? Greater Google. Nothing much what it can do. And so when there are many certifications I have personally have gone through, and all that stuff was coming up, right? So after that we found that AI is not a bigger thing which we should be fearing or something like that. And when we say AI proofing and all these things, it's not the case. The IB as an organization, they have accepted AI, and there are softwares to just filter out the content which is copied and pasted from the internet and copied and pasted from the AI bots. Okay, so if there is a 4,000 words essay which is given by the student with the help of AI or some here and there copy pasting, everything is crystal clear for the school because we are using Turnitin. So in that case, what happens is, whatever you do, the school has got systems to take care of that. Okay, so, and yesterday I was discussing with something with our Pune colleagues, your journey in AI. Okay, so if you're in AI for the last, I think, 2 years after ChatGPT or before ChatGPT, how the AI stuff works and all these things, it depends on how you adapt and use AI. So I was talking with Ravin this morning that there are two categories of people in my school. One, the students, those who adapt AI. Okay, like they are just taking help of AI and making their essays and certain things best, or the ones those who are just adopted by AI, those who just use AI and give the drafts to us. Okay, the two categories. So what happens is, in our school again, for the last, I think, 2 years, we are running prompt workshops. Okay, AI is to be used in all the drafts and whatever they do, right? But how they are using, that makes sense, right? So we have prompt workshops. All the departments, they run prompt workshops for the students, and in applications also. I'll come to the applications later. So when there are prompt workshops, all the kinds of prompts what the students can give. Maybe there are 60 students, 60 different prompts for one topic. So the student sitting in that workshop, he's having access to 60 different prompts what the classmates are giving. So the wider the AI prompts, the wider the kind of content what the AI bot is going to give us, right? And about the college applications, of course, ethics is to be considered. But again, to what extent? See, here as a school, what we clearly do is, we don't, even the students are ethical, unethical, but we have got the filtering mechanisms in place. So whatever the college essays are coming up with the help of AI and all these things, again, turn it in. Check it with the help of Turnitin, and then go through that. Now the colleges are using many other mechanisms. The colleges which are in the West, they want drafts of how the essay has developed. So that cannot be done. You can't do anything with the AI in that case. Yeah, it has happened. It has happened. Many universities. The universities which have spoken to, because I was career counselor for the last 20 years. Like we are running DP for the last, I think, 18 years now. So what is happening now is, been talking to those career counselors from the West.
Contemplating using those.
No, they're doing it already. Because what happens is the industry, the ghostwriters industry, the SOP in the industry, if you go to Mumbai and any other place, SOP is written by some hired agents, ghostwriters, right? So the same is happening. Exactly. So the same thing is happening with the AI also. So AI generated the essays and the ghostwriter generated essays. The same thing. The same old problem in a new bottle, right? So no issues about that. So what is happening is when the child is coming with the SOP, we have our internal systems to talk to the child in a Viva. Okay, if he's coming with a fake narrative, that we can catch very easily. Again, the child, when he starts speaking, and the essay, what the child is giving to us, they are two different worlds. One is from Ethiopian, and another one is from England. No, it's not like that, right? So what we can do is we can clearly find out what the child is speaking and what the essay is. So the Viva and all these things can bring lot of impact on how the whole game is done. And here, what we have done is we are asking them to use AI. Right. So we are much ahead in this game about using AI in the school. So when we are ahead in this whole curve, the students are coming up with so many things, right? So after that, when the AI comes, we have to make sure that the essay, the draft, what is in our hand, and the kind of person who is sitting for the Viva has to be the same.
Yeah.
And this we are doing it for the last so many years.
That's exactly what you
TOK Viva.
Yeah, your TOK, your extended essay, the way you work
with the Viva is the main game changer.
Yeah.
So anyone can write an essay, but the Viva has to be faced by him.
Yeah.
Right. So here we have, and here like it's a kind of a policing atmosphere in IB. The Viva is the main place where you get caught or like whatever it is. Right. So the when you have foolproof mechanisms in the school, then this AI is just not a bigger thing. It is just a greater Google, nothing more than that.
Right.
Yeah?
Thank you so much. And in fact, I did some research on this. And I was really interested in knowing, so what do the giants have to say about this? And who's a bigger giant than Harvard? And so I discovered that on their page, they have a guidebook that says how to use AI as a tool to support your work. And this is not just for their students, this is for the students who are going to apply to their school. So, and I can share it with you in the group. So what do they have to say? Number one, generate ideas for essays. So you are free to generate ideas for your essay. And they've even given a specific prompt. Please give me 5 ideas for essays I can write on topics related to World War II. So that's pretty broad. Generate outlines. And they say you can use ChatGPT to create an outline for an essay. And that's acceptable. Generate titles for your essays. Titles should draw a reader into the essay, yet they are often hard to get right. Have ChatGPT help you. So, I mean, like Dr. Mohan said, we have to embrace it. You got to have the right guardrails in place, but the key is being open about it and having an open-minded approach to it. Your policies need to be strong, and then your practices will definitely become stronger. So thank you so much, Dr. Mohan. I'll move on to our next speaker. And we've talked about multiple things. But the key of everything that we do has got to be balance. And a report by Wall Street Journal revealed that college admission Russia. And as a result, universities have increasingly begun to use artificial intelligence to assess applicants. And they openly do it. I have with me here, so Texas A&M University and North Carolina State University use AI tools like SIA, and they use it to process college transcripts. UPenn has developed an AI tool called Roberta, and this is to identify vital personal traits. And we've been talking how essential those human traits are, such as leadership, perseverance, within the application essays. So exactly what we need. But others, like Harvard, remain cautious and maintain a traditional approach to reviewing applicants. And they do it manually. How can we balance innovation with preserving the human evaluation process, which is crucial to fair and considerate admissions? And I'm going to throw this question back to the audience. So, yes.
Thank you everyone. So, my journey for AI started when I saw my son using AI for his assignments. So, he was trying to use generative AI to do his assignment. During his school days, he studied in IB school, and he was the one who trained me how to use it, how to not get caught, and how to finally get caught. So if you do an assignment on AI, next day you ask that whether this has been whether this has been created by using any AI tool, the AI tool will say yes. So he says, Dad, it is so simple for a teacher to catch us, but why don't they use this prompt to catch us, whether we have used any AI tool to generate this or not? Then what you were talking about, Turnitin. So these guys have used Turnitin. So first, before putting up their assignment to a Turnitin, they would just like to change some few words here and there, replacing few words, and they could manage out of Turnitin. So we see this happening in our PhD scholars thesis as well. So they have to get a plaque check done, and there are certain restrictions to it. Beyond that, you can't do it. So before going for a particular software, they try it on another software, and then they use it. When it comes to university advisory, I definitely see that university admissions and advisory, I see that AI is a very strong and a powerful tool to ease off the workload of the admission office in terms of giving you a fair number or a fair sorting of the applications which have been there. But the bigger and the most complicated part when it comes to sorting out of the applications is that what are we looking at? It's like, how do you design the prompt? So the prompt engineering is something which is very, very critical for all of us to know, that what is it that you want to know? How do you want to create that question for different universities? It will help in digging out the big data. It will definitely help in reducing the workload of the admission counselors. But I very firmly believe that there has to be a balance of the technology, and the decision should finally lie with the human and not with the technology. So there should be a human intervention after analyzing the data. It can give you trends of learning, it can give you trends of the student, what he has learned. It can talk about consistency of learning. Suddenly you will find in an application that a child has done everything in his grade 11th. He's there in art, he's there in dance, he's also written a book, he's also done his social service, he has traveled everywhere, he has attended summer camp, thanks to some of the advisors who tell them that you have to take each and every box. So they actually lose their character while writing that essay because it gets confused. Like what you were saying, 10 grades in subject, also music, also dance. What should you speak about? What should we give them an advice on? It is a tricky thing. So the AI can definitely assist you in identifying and segregating the applications, but the human aspect of identifying the man behind that number is very, very important. So just getting the numbers, calculating those numbers, but what is the person, who is the person behind that that number sheet is important, which a human being can do. So there should be a right balance. The decision should be with the human, and maybe sorting, helping, segregation could be done through an AI tool. That is what I would like to say on this.
Fabulous. Would someone from the audience share a perspective on this? So, ma'am, I'll come back to you.
Namaskar. AI is the blessing of the 21st century. But what since humanity came, IA was there. That is intelligence associated with the human being. And that has carried the human civilization for the last thousands of years. Just I say one particular example what was discussed in the room, my case. I stood first in the 12th examination, and my uncle was engineer, so he pushed me to join the engineering college. In 1972, getting admission in engineering college was the most difficult job. Passing was the easy. But this person who scored, who topped the school, he was failed in the first semester in the engineering college. Then I got depression. Then I was advised by the doctor to change the stream. Then I joined the commerce. And in 2.5 years, I completed 4 years of this commerce graduation course from Jamshedpur and stood second in the Rachna University. Then I joined chartered accountancy in the 1976. And within 3.5 years, I completed CA, cost accountancy and company secretaryship, which was the record at the time. I was the among 100 person in 1980 who were having all 3 professional degrees. So what I mean to say, ki what is the intelligence there? That opportunity should be given to the student, to the human being. Then he will excel. Thank you.
So we have been talking about AI as a co-pilot helping children in writing college applications or whatever. So I have a different perspective on this. So when AI was not there, so either children were self-sufficient to write strong applications by themselves, and if parents felt that they needed extra support, they attached them to counselors, which had a cost. So the professionals will write for them. And at one point of time, I have also done this work as a professional. So what I would do, I would get 70% of the stuff extracted from the child only. Take the brag sheet, give them some templates, and then in a professional language, I will put together pieces and I will guide child that, you know, this is missing, that is missing. Now in the age of AI, that cost can be saved. So children can be guided. So there is no harm in taking help. So you need not to go to professionals. You have got AI at your ease. So ideally, parents should also not spend that money. So AI is at your disposal to do that. Now there is another perspective. What we are being trained that it's 80-20 formula. You take everything from AI, 80% effort is done. Now do 20% effort to give it a human touch. What I tried in my case while using AI is you do 60-40. 60 is yours and 40 is AI. You do it for a period of time and then it will be 100% by AI, but you feel it's your own written word. So I'm a user of ChatGPT, let's say from 2023. So initially, I would write everything myself and upload it to ChatGPT and I will say, fine-tune my draft and these are my ethos behind this draft. It should not get diluted. Now, AI has understood my way of doing. Today, I give 40% of words and I say, basis my previous style of writing, give me the output and you know my ethos should not be diluted. So when I give less input also, now the output is as per my requirement. If we can train our children like that you know, you do the first draft yourself, give it to AI, and when you will check it that is this draft done by any other AI, it will say it is assisted by AI, not written by AI. That output also I have tested. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Nishant. So being from education and technology background, we are working on the latest product on AI. My perspective is we are trying to fit a new situation with an old process which has been there for I think decades. The question is why the essay application process should still exist when the whole scenario has changed. As you said, you are collecting data of students from class 9 to class 12th. So one solution which I can foresee is if we can build a third-party validated, authentic database of all IB schools around the world, validated. And that API is shared by the colleges. They can rely on that data. They don't need an essay at all. They have everything already validated by you. You said you are taking Viva of all students. You can simply upload the Viva video of the student on the portal. AI further can validate the script and the video. You don't need a human to do that at all. That is the solution to this problem. We are trying to fit old process in the new situation, and that's why we are struggling.
I agree with you, Nishant, on this. You know, one very interesting thing which we foresee in higher education is that the day is not far off when a student will pick up a subject and will also select a university from where he wants to study. And he will like to collate his credits from multiple universities. Maybe I can study mathematics from University A and science from University B, and then I decide to write an exam in University C and get a degree from that university. The future is that, and for that we will need to we'll have to have an assessment system which is individualized assessment system. We talk about personalized learning, we need to have a personalized learning as well as individualized assessment, so that if a university is interested in knowing how good I am in mathematics or science or my conceptual knowledge, I can align to one university for a subject. I see it coming maybe in next decade. We will not study in only one campus. There are universities who are offering courses where kids are studying in 3 different nations or 4 different countries. You will find kids studying in maybe in United States and 3 subjects, Monday, Tuesday they are at one university, Wednesday, Thursday they are at other university, and on Friday they are studying something online from here. That is the future, and I'm forcing that the admission processes will have to change. What we are doing just depending upon essays or on the marks, it will have to change. It will have to see the learning journey of the child, the consistency of the student, and how good that person has evolved as an holistic individual instead of a person carrying a mark sheet in his hand.
So many amazing ideas in this room. But to continue this, but the final question here is, I'd like each one of you to address this one thing. If there was only one thing each member of the audience has to take away from today's session, what do you hope that would be?
I would say 2 things, okay, slightly different from
Higher
what I spoke
hopes.
earlier. One is what Dr. Bhalla mentioned about how do we, when we talk about inclusivity, right, how do we look at the diverse form of excellence of students? Now, we are only looking at the academic merits. I mean, we need to move on. Now, with the 21st century skills that we're expecting, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, all these elements, it is easier with the use of technology that we can assess a student. So the diverse form of excellence of a student can be assessed using technology. That is one that institutions, particularly in the college segment, should consider. Second, another very important aspect that I spoke in the last session also is that how do we use technology to support students with disabilities? I think that is one area that we are not really looked at it seriously. In Sweden, apparently, 80% of the adult population uses something called an eye tracking technology to use computers. Now, we of course name our disabled students as differently abled, they are special children, etc., etc. But are we really using this technology, helping them? Can we see more and more disabled students in our campuses by investing in technology that can make them independent, right? That is the other thing that I would like to add.
Thank you, Ravin.
Yeah, if it is like one word means just adapt AI to the extent that the students have to learn how to use AI from the teachers. Then only the whole game will change. Otherwise, it's going to be the same hype and the same fear about now AI is going to come and we are going to lose jobs and all that things will be there, right? So first adapt AI to such an extent that the students should be learning how to use AI, run workshops about AI prompts, and don't assess the drafts, assess the AI prompts, what the child is giving to them.
Yeah.
Then I think everything will be very, very smooth. And then after that, you will be really hating this whole hype about AI and all that stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. So lead by example, use AI, but use it with integrity, and they will follow you. Yeah. So thank you.
So my takeaway would be definitely need of upskilling in the entire education fraternity, because if we want to achieve what we are discussing, the first thing is to upskill our teachers, and we also need to reinvent the courses what we study at university to be a teacher. So will a traditional B.Ed or an M.Ed program will make you eligible what is required by the education space? So some restructuring and realignment on teachers training, teachers learning and upskilling is what is required. And industry will have to come forward, because they are the people who are creating technologies, they are the people who have invented technologies, and they are looking for users. I'm sure the guys who are in the solution providing space of technology and AI, the biggest challenge for you today is to educate the educator, that how and why we can use it and what are the benefits of using it. So that is my takeaway, that we need to focus on the teachers training and upscaling of the education network and the system.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can see the consensus of the panel because, like Dr. Mohan said, we have to equip ourselves with those skills. And then we have to impart those skills to our teachers and our students. So thank you so much.
One thing I'd just like to share about the upskilling and all these things, what you say. You'll be surprised to find that we don't invest anything in AI upskilling and all that stuff. The teachers, they do many Udemy courses. I think there is something called as Magic School.
Yeah.
Okay, all the three levels are compulsory for each and every teacher in the school. Okay, so, and that should be mentioned in the CV, and on that basis, your appraisals are also done.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are not investing anything in that. All the YouTube videos about, free workshops are there about AI and all these things. Right, so these model like upskilling on your own. So it's not that the school's responsibility, it's the teacher's responsibility if they want to stay in the job, that's it.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, and thank you, audience, for being the most interactive and engaging audience. And thank you, sir, for sharing that.
Did you use the AI for your this?
No, I don't. I didn't. I didn't.
I've used it. I got AI input, then the wonderful things are.
Next time I'll use AI. Yeah. But thank you so much for sharing that inspiring anecdote that you did. Thank you, and thank you, Sonia ma'am. So thank you, everybody. A lot of takeaways from today's session. But one thing that resonated the most with me was that we must explore and engage with AI, but we must nurture another form of AI, authentic intelligence, and ensure that our students remain their authentic selves and are proud to present themselves as they are. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Did you turn it off? Can I just, I know, first of all, thank you, Manjot, for time. When Arunab and I were curating the track, we did immediately come up with Manjot because we know that your preparation is always impeccable. And if we're being honest, college admissions is her passion. And it really came across in how you've worked with the team here, the panel. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I think for me, exactly what you're saying, integrity in AI. And I'm taking away, sir, your phrase, greater Google. Because I think so many schools are concerned about students plagiarizing. And the concept of the Viva, actually, that's really bringing some intellectual rigor back to our children, that it's not just about writing an essay, it's about your own expression of what you've researched. So I would genuinely say that was, I'm so happy to finally be in a panel, because I spent yesterday with 300 young people downstairs. And I think, you know, between them and this panel, I'm having just such a wonderful 2 days learning. It's now that point where I'm going to ask Manjot if you would like to felicitate our wonderful panel. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's never easy to be on the second day when people are flagging. And I just feel really like, oh, I've learned something. I've got some tools to take away. So thank you so much for the preparation. And Manjot, thank you so much again. That was wonderful. Thank you.
Diverse form of excellence of students. Now we are only looking at the academic merits. I mean, we need to move on. Now with the 21st century skills that we're expecting, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, all these elements, it is easier with the use of technology that we can assess a student. So the diverse form of excellence of a student can be assessed using technology. That is one that institutions, particularly in the college segment, should consider. Second, another very important aspect that I spoke in the last session also is that how do we use technology to support students with disabilities? I think that is one area that we are not really looked at it seriously. In Sweden, apparently, 80% of the adult population uses something called an eye tracking technology to use computers. Now, we of course name our disabled students as differently abled, they are special children, etc., etc. But are we really using this technology, helping them? Can we see more and more disabled students in our campuses by investing in technology that can make them independent, right? That is the other thing that I would like to add.
Thank you, Ravin.
Yeah, if it is like one word means just adapt AI to the extent that the students have to learn how to use AI from the teachers. Then only the whole game will change. Otherwise, it's going to be the same hype and the same fear about now AI is going to come and we are going to lose jobs and all that things will be there, right? So first adapt AI to such an extent that the students should be learning how to use AI, run workshops about AI prompts, and don't assess the drafts, assess the AI prompts, what the child is giving to them. Then I think everything will be very, very smooth. And then after that, you will be really hating this whole hype about AI and all that stuff.
Thank you. So lead by example, use AI, but use it with integrity, and they will follow you. So thank you.
So my takeaway would be definitely need of upskilling in the entire education fraternity, because if we want to achieve what we are discussing, the first thing is to upskill our teachers, and we also need to reinvent the courses what we study at university to be a teacher. So will a traditional B.Ed or an M.Ed program will make you eligible what is required by the education space? So some restructuring and realignment on teachers training, teachers learning and upskilling is what is required. And industry will have to come forward, because they are the people who are creating technologies, they are the people who have invented technologies, and they are looking for users. I'm sure the guys who are in the solution providing space of technology and AI, the biggest challenge for you today is to educate the educator, that how and why we can use it and what are the benefits of using it. So that is my takeaway, that we need to focus on the teachers training and upskilling of the education network and the system.
Yeah, so I can see the consensus of the panel, because like Dr. Mohan said, we have to equip ourselves with those skills, and then we have to impart those skills to our teachers and our students. So thank you so much.
One thing I just like to share about the upskilling and all these things, what you say. You'll be surprised to find that we don't invest anything in AI upskilling and all that stuff. The teachers, they do many Udemy courses. I think there is something called as Magic School. Okay, all the three levels are compulsory for each and every teacher in the school. Okay, so and that should be mentioned in the CV, and on that basis your appraisals are also done. Okay, so we are not investing anything in that. All the YouTube videos about free workshops are there about AI and all these things, right? So these model like upskilling on your own. So it's not that the school's responsibility, it's the teacher's responsibility if they want to stay in the job. That's it.
If you want to stay in the business, you have to upgrade yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, and thank you audience for being the most interactive and engaging audience. And thank you, sir, for sharing that.
Did you use the AI for your this?
No, I don't. I didn't. I didn't.
I've used this. I got AI input, then the wonderful things are.
Next time I'll use AI. Yeah. But thank you so much for sharing that inspiring anecdote that you did. Thank you, and thank you, Sonia ma'am. So thank you, everybody. A lot of takeaways from today's session. But one thing that resonated the most with me was that we must explore and engage with AI, but we must nurture another form of AI, authentic intelligence, and ensure that our students remain their authentic selves and are proud to present themselves as they are. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Did you turn it off? Can I just, I know, first of all, thank you, Manjot, for time. When Arnab and I were curating the track, we did immediately come up with Manjot, because we know that your preparation is always impeccable. And if we're being honest, college admissions is her passion. And it really came across in how you've worked with the team here, the panel. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I think for me, exactly what you're saying, integrity in AI, and I'm taking away, sir, your phrase, greater Google, because I think so many schools are concerned about students plagiarizing, and the concept of the Viva, actually, that's really bringing some intellectual rigor back to our children, that it's not just about writing an essay, it's about your own expression of what you've researched. So I would genuinely say I'm so happy to finally be in a panel, because I spent yesterday with 300 young people downstairs, and I think, between them and this panel, I'm having just such a wonderful 2 days learning. It's now that point where I'm going to ask Manjot if you would like to felicitate our wonderful panel. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's never easy to be on the second day when people are flagging. And I just feel really like, I've learned something. I've got some tools to take away. So thank you so much for the preparation. And Manjot, thank you so much again. That was wonderful. Thank you.
I have